Captain Francis J. Dougherty. Well, yeah, the Earle Weapon Station is in Colts Neck, New Jersey, which is a very nice area. And I think the thing was started back in the early days of World War II. And they had all kinds of ammo storage places there, and had an own railroad that went, I think it was 12 or 15 miles, down to a little town on the waterfront called Leonardo. And if you ever flown into LaGuardia or Newark, and you see Sandy Hook, which is a pronounced thing, right next to Sandy Hook is this 3.5 mile long pier. And that's where the ammo ships were home ported and based. And I had small headquarters and small staff ashore in Leonardo. So all the supplies would come down the railroad in boxcars and so forth, unload onto the pier, then onto the ships, and the ships would then deploy. I guess the reason the pier was 3.5 miles long was the fact that one of the ships blew up, just little pieces would hit the beach, you know. But anyway, it was a very interesting place, and it was an interesting tour of duty because we were building a lot of housing there for the crews and so forth. There was some opposition to that. I think, fortunately, gotten to know a lot of the local politicians. Would give them ship tours, take them, you know, have them fly them out to one of the ships that was coming in and so forth. So they got a little acquainted with what was going on there. And they became a big help when we had some of these protests about this housing thing that we're going to do for our enlisted guys, because it was a very expensive real estate area to live in, and limited housing for, you know, for the crews and families of these ships. So we were able to make that happen. Worked out good. We had 5 ammunition ships there that would load up from the Earle Weapon Station and then, you know, deploy with battle groups and service the battle groups and so forth around the world. So a very interesting tour of duty as well. I got involved with the New York Navy League. This was back in, I was up there from 86 to 88. And the guy that was head of the New York Navy League asked me if he thought, if I thought that a Fleet Week in New York would be an interesting thing to do. He said they used to have one years ago, but it stopped. And he said, would I be willing to help him? And I said, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll be happy to help you. So he said, well, he'd been talking to the guy over at the shipyard, and they said that maybe they could send a couple destroyers up from Norfolk. I said, no, you need an aircraft carrier. This is New York, right? He said, exactly. That's why. Can you help me? So I called down to Vice Admiral Dick Dunleavy, who was Commander Naval Air Forces Atlantic at the time, explained the story to him, and he said, oh yeah, great, I'll send the Kennedy up there, my old ship. So the Kennedy shows up for Fleet Week in 1987, and they had 50,000 visitors a day, and the rest is history. So that was kind of a fun thing to get involved in. And after that tour, I went to the Pentagon, and I was a deputy in Op 50, which puts together the plans and requirements for naval aviation budgets and so forth, and did that for 2 years. I got my look for flag, didn't make it, so I had 2 kids in grade school, oldest daughter in high school, and so I needed a new career, so I retired in 1990 and worked in aerospace for 15 years. And then I did a startup from one consultant to 18 employees by the time I finished, in a kind of a very interesting recall mitigation for small arms. So I did that and retired when I turned 71, and I got myself busy by running for the board of the club I belong to, Washington Golf and Country Club, one of the oldest country clubs in the country. And ended up being the project officer and built a $4 million fitness center, which was kind of fun along the way. And I served as president of the club after that, which was kind of an honor and a privilege to do so. And live here in North Arlington with my family and my wife and 3 daughters, and it just, you know, a great run. Just turned 81. My youngest granddaughter, she turned 6 when I turned 81.